So today we're going to continue talking about decimal operations. Specifically, we are going to be continuing talking about division. Now, yesterday we talked about doing a division problem when we had a decimal in our dividend. The dividend, as a reminder, is the number inside of our fraction house, or the number that we are actually dividing. Today we're going to talk about decimals in our divisor, or the number that we are dividing by. Now, one thing we have to start out, and it's sort of the key point to all of this lesson, is how can we move decimal places? And the big idea with moving a decimal place is that you have to know that when you multiply by 10, it's going to shift over your decimal. So if you multiply it by 100, it's going to shift it over twice. If you multiply it by 1,000, it's going to shift it over 3 times. Basically, it's going to go to the right the same number of zeros that are what you're multiplying by. But this only works with 10, 100, 1,000 multiples of 10. So for our example here, we have 5 6/10, and we're multiplying it by 100. So we've got our decimal between our 5 and our 6, and it would shift 2 places. And if we did that on a piece of paper, we would actually see that that's going to equal 560. So the general idea is that we want our dividend, our number on the outside of the house, to be a whole number. And so we need to multiply it by some multiple of 10, so 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, to make it a whole number. We got to move our decimals both inside our house and outside of our house. And then we divide like normal. And if we need to move our decimal point up, if we still have a decimal inside, then we can do that just like we did yesterday. So here's our first example. We've got 48 divided by 2/10. Now, 2/10, that's a decimal, can't really work with it like it is. But I can multiply that by 10. I can move my decimal over one place. So if I do that on my 2/10, I have to do the same thing with my 48. So if I rewrite it, it's going to look like 2 divided by 480. This is just regular division. So 2 goes into 4 2 times. That gets us 4. We subtract. We have nothing left over. We bring down our 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times. We get 8. We subtract. We get nothing left over. And then bring down our 0. 2 goes into 0 0 times. 0 times 0 is 0. Get nothing left over. What this is actually showing us is 48 divided by 2/10 is 240. We had to rewrite it. What we did on the outside of the house, we had to do on the inside of the house when we moved our decimals. But once we go through and we solve it, 240 is going to be our answer.